it's been moving aggressively, but Trump at the last time said the market is posing the tariffs and stuff. I don't know if maybe you were following that, but you can see the market is now actually recovering very quick. So yeah, yesterday, man, my let me this pen is not showing. Yesterday we have this power whatever. It was not really load shedding, Mara. It was like power cuts because of we had some serious aggressive weather this side. But now it's fine. This pen is not, yeah, but it's working. Okay. Yeah, Nasdaq it's reversing, man. Or let's say all the market seems to be reversing in a very good way. Whoa.
I didn't hear you.
Come again?
I don't know what's wrong with I have a network problem here.
Oh.
I don't know what is happening.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, you can talk.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay, that's great. So I was just saying yesterday I had this issue with the electricity because the weather was not really nice. But today
I can't see your screen.
You can see my screen.
No.
Oh, but I did share. I did share my screen.
It's alright.
Let me stop it and share it again.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Or now you can see it.
Yeah, I can see.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
Did you remember to record?
Come again?
Did you remember to record this time? To record this session?
Yes, I'm actually recording. Okay. Yeah, it's already recording. Yeah. So yeah, I think the market is recovering very nice. The market, yeah, it's recovering very nice. And I missed this type of a move.
This move is happening because of Trump is stopping the tariffs.
It's making the pause. It's actually fundamentals. So yeah, but we're still gonna talk about this. But this is very important. If you check, I was checking these things. Let's see. You can see Trump pauses some tariffs. So it means those tariffs, if you still remember from yesterday, there were tariffs which were just kicking in yesterday. And it seems like the market
from other countries.
Yeah, it seems like the market did not really like that. But now, just because the market was selling, I think maybe you saw how Nasdaq, US30, S&P 500 was selling. So he saw that it's a bad idea. So now he say, okay, let's pause with that. Now the market is doing what? It's now reversing. If you check, this is the first time I see the market. I know the market can move up, but not like this. I never saw the market recovering. This is not a smaller move because if you check, it's 10%. Sometimes for the market to move like that, it might take even 8 months to create a move like this. It's like way too big. So yeah, this is a candlestick. Even with the news trading, you can't get 10% like that. Maybe 2, yes, 2, but not 10. 10 it's like seriously aggressive move. But yeah, I think it's it's good. It's not really bad. It's good for us at the moment. So I think maybe we can easily trade from tomorrow, I think. But for now, yeah, we just have to relax. I think and up to tomorrow or this week, the market will be trying to reverse. So, anyways, let's just continue with our session. Last time when we were talking, we were on 1 hour session to 15 minutes time
4 hour.
frame.
It was 4 hour and 1 hour, and then you send me the link for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, if we still coming from 1 hour, let me try to hide this. Okay, now I have a very nice one. So yeah, as from the last session, we were coming from 4 hours to 1 hour. So as you know, we are still going to go on 15 minutes time frame. So which means on our 4 hours time frame, as I said, we're trying to identify our trends, which is going to be an uptrend or downtrend. So by doing this, we now understand that, okay, the trend might be going up or going down. If you did that, what you do is to draw the trend line. So the trend line might be a support or a resistance line. So if it's an uptrend, we're gonna draw a support line. If it's a downtrend, we're gonna draw a resistance line. And then from there, it's where we say it's time for us to go on 1 hour time frame so that we can actually understand what's really happening in this trend. Where can we buy or where can we sell? Because now we are already identified the trend. So now we need to understand what's really happening inside this trend. If it's an uptrend, we need to understand what's really happening inside this trend so that we can know where we can actually take that buy or where we can look for that sell. It's not an entry, but by drawing those structures, identifying those structures, they help us to understand where we can actually look for a buy or a sell. Then from there, once you identified everything, it's where we can say it's time for us to move to 1 hour time frame. So, but before we move to 1 hour time frame, remember, you have to understand how to draw those trend lines. So by drawing those trend lines, it means if maybe the market moves like this, you have to know that your line that you're gonna draw is going to be the last area. So you're not gonna draw and cut the lines like that. So which means every line that we draw, it should be the last area. If the market breaks out of that, it means that it's a breakout. And we're not gonna have any issue trying to find a breakout. So whatever that is going to happen here, it means it's an inner structure. It's those structures that we're going to identify on our 1 hour time frame. So which means here we just have a clear structure. We are on a downtrend. So whatever that happens inside here, it's actually inside our trend. We're going to identify that on 1 hour time frame. So we don't really worry much about whatever that is happening inside the trend, because once we go on 1 hour is where we're going to try to find out what's really happening. So when we go on 1 hour, let's say you already understand how to draw the trend line. Maybe the market moves like this, and you can easily draw something like that. So now we go on 1 hour time frame, just to do what? To identify the structures that we get inside this here and make sure that we can actually keep selling if the trend is going down. So on 1 hour time frame, we're trying to identify let's see. We try to identify this ranging structure. This ranging structure or this. These are the three structures that we're trying to identify. This is going to be the first one, and it's the most important one because it happens most of the time and something like that. So this one happens to any structure, whether it's an uptrend or downtrend. So this one's we can say on a downtrend, this one on an uptrend, but this one it happens on any trend. So why we say that, it's like mostly the market will create something like this. And when we try to draw, we can see that we have something like this. But from here, we start to get something like that. So this is going to be a nice uptrend. A downtrend can be something like that. Mostly it's going to be something like this. Or something like that. Maybe here it might continue to create another ranging structure. But at the end of the day, this is a downtrend structure. By identifying that type of a structure, we know where we can look for sell positions. We know where the market is going to respect or retest from the structures. Like here, if maybe we are on an uptrend like this, we know that once the market comes back around this level, we'll be looking for another buy. When the market retest here, we'll be looking for another buy. But for us to get very close, it means we need to be on a smaller time frame, like 15 minutes. Yes, on 1 hour, these structures are very clear. But for us to start to jump in on the entry levels, it means we have to go on a very smaller time frame, like 15 minutes time frame, so that we can actually start to look for where can we buy once the market moves away from that. But our job is to make sure we identify this type of movements. We identify this type of structures on 1 hour time frame. And we have to do that.
Okay.
So it's quite easy, but sometimes it might be difficult, especially just because the market sometimes might not really be the market doesn't really care what we know or what we don't know. So the market, most likely it will be hard, and we have to make sure that we work hard to a point where we understand what's really happening on the market. And from there, yeah, we will understand that, okay, this is what happens on the market. This doesn't really happen on the market. And this is what, let me try to draw this. I'm trying to identify some structures. Yeah, let's go. My network is still a little bit slower.
So, Mr. Kenzo, how does the London session and the New York session affect this strategy?
Oh yeah, the trends don't work like that. If, for
Okay.
example, yeah, this is something that I see or hear from different people sometimes, especially beginners. So if I have something like this is an uptrend. Inside this trend, I also have an inner structure like that. So if we check nicely here, this was September, October. Let's say it was September up to a point where we can say it was March this year. So from last year, October up to now, let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So you can see that the market was going on that trend. The market was already going up. So which means whether we had Australian session, European session, New York or US session, still the market did not really care much because we see the market continue with the trend for more than 6 months. So which means sometimes those things, they do matter, you're right, when you ask that type of a question, but they do only matter if you're focusing on something which is very, very short. But if you want to understand something about the whole week, if you want to be sure about the whole week, or okay, this month, if I can buy, I'm sure even next week will be going in this direction, even next month will be going in this direction. It means it doesn't really matter if London session or European session, whatever that happens, because the trend is still going to continue regardless of the session. You see, if maybe you can start from here to this point where the market was going up, you might find that it's actually 3 months. But the session changes every 24 hours, every 23 to 24 hours. It means tomorrow around 9:30 or 8:30, European session will be starting. Later around 3:30, a US session will be starting. But do we get any different there? No. The only difference that we get is when we have New York or US stock exchange or US session, yes, just because the market is opening, there will be orders which are coming in and out. So there will be a certain move. If maybe those positions were on a bullish move or they were buying, let's say now we expect a continuation of a buy, obviously, maybe on Nasdaq or US30. Let's talk about indices. It means tomorrow we might get the market, once the market opens, the market might start by going up. If things were negative, the market might start by going down. So does that change the overall market structure? Mostly it's going to be no. It's just only going to be one candlestick. That one candlestick might last 1 hour or 2 hours. But the market will still continue with the previous direction.
So it doesn't matter. The other thing that I want to know is the time that you enter your trades. Does it matter to check the time? What if you see your setup early in the morning, like 5 o'clock? You see the setup happening there. Can you enter your trades at that time, or you should wait for maybe 4 sessions to open before you enter the trades?
What I can say is I used to do that mostly just because I'm a day trader. On Nasdaq, like Nasdaq US30 or maybe S&P 500, I used to trade before. Let's say this is the concept. Before, or let's say post the market is post the previous, before the market opens, the market tends to be slower, or maybe might be going in a certain direction. But once the market opens, the market might start to go in a certain direction. Sometimes it's just a continuation of the previous direction. But what happens is, what I can say is, when the market is open, the market tends to be active. When we say the market is open, around 3:30 this time on our side in South Africa, in the US it's 8:30. It's when the time on that side, when the market opens. So it means they're starting to go to work, everything start to open that side because it's actually early in the morning. So it's like they're starting to work. That's why we start to see the market start to get active. A session is like start of the day. Like when you go to school early in the morning around 7 o'clock, when you start your activities, even the market works like that. That side it's early in the morning. Wall Street start to open, people start to open trades, people start to buy stocks and stuff like that, whether it's currencies or indices, then the activity that they do is start to get aggressive. That's why mostly before that, the market will tend to move a bit slower, this and that. But once the market opens, the market start to get active because now there's enough people active in the market. So there's nothing. It's not. There's. I used to see people when say, "Yeah, we have to trade when the market open." Market open 1 to 3, especially on Nasdaq, because our people don't really do the research. They just think, or when 3:30 or 4:30, there is sort of a fundamental. It's not. It's just that it's like a spaza shop. If maybe you open around 10 o'clock in the morning, obviously the sales will start to go up. Because someone's gonna buy bread, someone's gonna buy archer, someone's gonna buy eggs, but before that, there were only few people. Someone just came just to buy a lost draw. Then another 2 hours later came someone. But once you open, people are awake. Everyone want to buy bread, someone want to buy this and that. So we start to see that activity. So our South African traders, they will say 3:30, 4:30. It's where once you see this candlestick, buy. Once you see this, sell. But it's a lie and it's a lack of information, because when the market opens, it's like the market. People start to buy and sell. The activities start to start. That's why they say there's a session. When they say European session, they just say the session mostly they start in the mornings everywhere. If they say European session starts around 8:30, it means 8:30 people goes to work again. And investors, hedge funders, everyone start to buy and sell shares. So it's the time where Europe is gonna be active. You see. So if it's a US session, this time, come again? I think your network. I think it's your network. I think your network is a bit slower. I think your network is a bit slow. Can you hear me? My network on my side. Let me check. I'm checking my network. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. It is fine now.
Oh, I saw it was not really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were still talking about the session. So the sessions is just the start of the day. And mostly when we start the day or when we open the business, the sales will start to go up because people are buying. So it's not like it's the news or something. There's nothing like that. So yeah, I think if you understand that, you will understand
Yeah,
why
I
the
do.
market moves when it opens. And sometimes another thing is, since we're gonna still talk about the fundamentals, we'll be explaining this. So like tomorrow, there will be orders where people they can actually buy. There are platforms where allow people to buy on the market, even though the market is closed. So those orders they will start to kick in when the market opens. So let's say there's 10 people who are going to buy, maybe with let's say 1K, 1,000, and the market is closed. So which means the order is in, but they will start to kick in when the market opens. Once the market opens, those 10 position, those 10 Ks, they will be added on the market, and then the market will start to move like that. So most likely it's something that happens in the market, and maybe people think maybe those are the news, and it's not actually the news.
The people.
Sorry.
It's actually the people who is moving the market,
Yes.
like the orders.
Those orders they start to kick in. It's like, yeah, it's like that. It's when the market opens, the activities start to kick in. There's people who they bought when the market closed, but their order was not really active. So once they start to get active, the market start to move crazy. So that is not really the news. It's just that it's not really. It's just a matter of understanding how the market works.
Yeah.
You see, so now what we want to do is to understand our 1 hour structures. We have to understand 1 hour structures. On 1 hour, we have to make sure that we identify this type of structures and make sure that we see what's really happening. And once we understand this, it is going to help us to know where we can buy, where we can sell, and by doing that, we understand the market. Since the market doesn't really come regularly on this support area, it's fine, but we can still do what? We can still have a chance to participate in the market as we already know that we are on this uptrend. So, which means our job is to try to identify whatever that we already have here so that we can whether we buy or we sell. But if maybe we are on an uptrend, remember, we have to identify this type of ranging structure, whether it's a diagonal structure, whether it's diagonal structure like that. So we have to identify that. By identifying that, it helps us to know where to buy and where to sell. I see something like here, you can try to connect that. If it makes sense, that's fine. It means the market is moving like that. But by doing that, also, we will have to remember that this looks like this. But remember, the first thing that you should try to identify is that. You don't really have to confuse the two. Try to identify the structure. Why? Because it has multiple opportunities than that. By doing this, it means you're gonna have like 1, 2, 3 opportunities. 1, 2, 3 opportunities. But if we try to identify another structure like that, like this, you're gonna have more because it's gonna be something like this, and I see something like that. I see something like that on top of that. Let me just use a proper line. So it's something that happens now and then. So now you can see that instead of getting uh, 3 chances or 3 opportunities, now you can get more than 3. Before, I think it was something like that. So you were getting around this, that, and this one. So with these horizontal structures, you get enough opportunities in the market. So every trend that you have, you can easily have enough opportunities on one trend. So you don't really have to wait for something crazy to happen. As long as we can have those ranging structures with us, that's fine. But we also have something like this. This one makes sense. So which means when the market was bouncing around these levels, this was going to be a nice structure for us to look for that buy. So which means you won't be finding that. It means this time you will be getting something like that. And we take advantage of that. So that's why we try to check on our 1 hour time frame. And once we go on 15 minutes time frame, what do we try to identify is these areas where we wait for the market to bounce back. On 15 minutes, we're going to check where can we place our buy positions, where can we place our buy position. And from these structures, it's where we're going to look for those buy positions. And on 15 minutes time frame, we're not going to draw anything. It's just that we have to just look if we can buy here or maybe push it a little bit lower, because 15 minutes that we're going to use is just something that we can say we don't really want to get in late in the market, because these structures are actually quite big. We can say we don't really just want to get late. Sometimes if we go on 1 hour, you might find that your entry was here. On 15 minutes time frame, it's going to be a little bit lower, and that is going to help you to save on the pips. On 1 hour, you might find that you were a little bit far with maybe something like that, but on 15 minutes, you're gonna the entry, the way they are going to be at the little bit lowest level, because you can see things a little bit closer. So on 1 hour, you might find it's like that. On 4 hours time frame, most likely it's going to be like that. But on 15 minutes time frame, most likely it's going to be at the lowest area. Yes, you can still take positions on 1 hour and still be correct, but most likely you might find that you got a little bit late. Maybe you were supposed to get around this level. I hope maybe that makes sense. So that's what we do. That's why we say we go on 15 minutes time frame. But what we do there is just the same thing that we're going to do, or we're going to see on 1 hour. It's just that, okay, I will see this support area, which means once the market bounces back here, I need to buy. But just because we need to get at the level where we can say it's the lowest area or earlier stage, it means we need to, once the market bounce back, we can look for that buy. Once the market bounce back, we can look for that buy, and we keep doing that. And since we're not talking about entry strategy, we're still talking about 1 hour. At the moment, we can say yes, we are still trying to make sure that we understand what really 1 hour does. It's just to show us where we can look for those buy positions, but we make sure that we draw them correctly, because sometimes if you don't really draw them correctly, you might actually do some serious mistakes where you will end up buying or selling. But when you check, it was something that you were supposed to actually not lose, or not actually try to make a mistake on that. But at the moment, my job is for you to try to identify this. I think from tomorrow, try to send your analysis where you drawn something like this. Try to draw your supports areas, and so that I can see if maybe you can actually draw them in the right manner. And I will say, okay, it's fine. We can just continue on the next chapter. But at the moment, I think it's way much better for you to try to draw those support areas and resistant areas. I think that way is gonna help me to understand where it's your level of understanding. And yeah, I will see if maybe I need to change something or not. But at the moment, I think, yeah, everything's still fine. Try to draw those supports, resistant, and send them to me. I will see. I will actually want to gauge how do you actually understand this. So I think that way it will be much better.
So starting from tomorrow.
Even today, if maybe I can see, as long as I can find the message, I will try to check that and see if maybe you're doing the analysis, and immediately I will try to correct that and send back to you that, oh no, you're supposed to do it like this, you're not supposed to do it like that, and something like that.
Okay.
So anytime you
I
can
can do
send
that.
those analysis, then as long as I get them, I will actually let you know that, okay, this one is good, this one change here, this one don't change there, something like that.
Okay.
So for now, I think it's fine. I
I
will
think
try to save this and upload this, then I will send you the link after. Maybe let's say early tomorrow.
okay. Yeah, the setups I will send them tomorrow when they start. You know.
Okay. No, there's no problem. You can send them tomorrow, it's fine. But don't limit yourself and say maybe this time, anytime I will be ready. As long as I find the message, I will try to respond to that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's great,
Yeah.
man. Thank you very much. Let's meet. I think tomorrow are we meeting? Tomorrow it's what?
Yeah, we can. Tomorrow is Thursday.
Okay. When tomorrow, if I will be available, I will try to meet because I think I might have a session, but it's fine. I will try to meet with you tomorrow because we missed a session yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, thanks,
No
man.
problem.
Let's meet tomorrow. I'll try to send you this video to early tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kenzo.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother.
Sure.
Okay, sure.